Hello everyone! So the 2024 BRICS Summit just wrapped up, and let me tell you, it was a big one for India. Let's decode this into 5 simplified chapters. We're talking major strategic wins across the board, from trade deals that'll make your head spin to strengthening ties with some pretty important countries. India definitely came to play. Now, I know what you're thinking. BRICS? Sounds like a discount furniture store. But trust me, this is a big deal. We're talking about 5 major economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, coming together to reshape the global order. And this year, India was right at the center of it all. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down India's 5 biggest wins at the summit. We'll see how these wins will impact India's economy, its global standing, and maybe even the price of your next samosa. Stick around, it's about to get interesting. Chapter 1. Trade winds blowing India's way. All right, let's talk trade, shall we? Trade has always been a cornerstone of India's economy, and it's fascinating to see how it has evolved over the centuries. India's always been a trading nation, going back to the days of spices and silks. The ancient markets were bustling with activity, and traders from all over the world came to India to get their hands on these precious goods. And at this BRICS summit, they managed to ink some deals that would make even the ancient traders jealous. These agreements are set to pave the way for a new era of economic collaboration and growth. First up, the BRICS family just got a whole lot bigger. The inclusion of new members is a significant milestone that promises to reshape the global economic landscape. We're talking Saudi Arabia, the UAE, even Argentina joining the party. These countries bring their own unique strengths and resources to the table, making the BRICS alliance even more formidable. Now, this isn't just about having more people at the table, it's about opening up new markets for Indian businesses. This expansion means more opportunities for Indian entrepreneurs to explore and tap into. Think about it. India's already got strong ties with these countries, especially in energy and infrastructure. These sectors are crucial for India's growth, and the new partnerships will only strengthen these ties. But with this BRICS expansion, we're talking about taking it to the next level. The potential for increased trade and investment is enormous, and it could lead to unprecedented economic growth. More trade, more investment, more opportunities for Indian companies to shine on a global stage. Indian products are already making waves internationally, and this expansion will only amplify their presence. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about making friends with new countries, it's also about reducing dependence on the big guys. You know, the ones who like to throw their weight around. Diversifying trade partners is a strategic move that enhances India's economic security. By diversifying its trading partners, India is less vulnerable to the whims of any one country or economic bloc. This strategy ensures a more stable and resilient economy. It's like that old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is key to managing risks and ensuring sustainable growth. Or in this case, don't put all your samosas in one trade deal. By spreading out its trade relationships, India is setting itself up for long-term success. You gotta spread the love, and that's exactly what India's doing. By embracing new partnerships and expanding its trade horizons, India is poised to become an even more influential player on the global stage. Chapter 2. India's currency policy. Now let's talk money, specifically getting rid of the dollar. Okay, maybe not getting rid of it entirely, but India's been pushing hard for trade in local currencies. And at this BRICS summit, they made some serious headway. See, relying on the dollar for everything might seem convenient, but it also comes with risks. Currency fluctuations, global economic shocks, you name it, it can all impact India's economy. So, what's the solution? Start trading in rupees, yuan, rubles, you get the picture. And that's precisely what India's been advocating for. This BRICS summit saw some concrete steps in that direction, with initiatives to promote local currency settlements and reduce reliance on the dollar. Now, this isn't going to happen overnight. It's a long-term strategy, but the benefits for India are huge. Imagine less vulnerability to currency risks, especially with that massive energy import bill. Plus, it gives India more leverage in global trade. And let's not forget about the new development bank, the BRICS Bank, if you will. This bank's all about funding projects in developing countries. And with this push for local currencies, we could see even more funding flowing into India for infrastructure, renewable energy, you name it. Chapter 3. talking it out, India and China at the BRICS table. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, or should I say, the dragon at the BRICS Summit, China. Now, everyone knows India and China have their differences. Border disputes, geopolitical rivalry, the usual sibling rivalry stuff. But here's the thing about family. You might fight, you might disagree, but you still sit down at the table and try to work things out. And that's exactly what happened at the BRICS Summit. The summit provided a platform for direct dialogue between Indian Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping. They talked about the border tensions, agreed to maintain peace and tranquility along the line of actual control, and committed to continuing the dialogue process. Now, I'm not saying they hugged it out and started braiding each other's hair, but hey, a commitment to dialogue is a good start, right? For India, this is crucial. They need stability on their borders to focus on economic growth and development. And let's be real, nobody wins in a conflict, especially not in today's interconnected world. So while the India-China relationship might be a work in progress, the BRICS Summit showed that dialogue is possible, and that's a win in itself. Chapter 4. The Global South finds its voice, and it's speaking Indian. Now let's zoom out from the bilateral and talk about the bigger picture. The world is changing, and the voices that were once marginalized are now demanding to be heard. India's always seen itself as a champion of the Global South, the developing countries often overlooked on the world stage. This isn't a new role for India. It's been a consistent part of its foreign policy for decades. And at this BRICS summit, that message resonated loud and clear. The summit served as a platform for India to amplify its call for a more inclusive global governance structure. See, BRICS isn't just about 5 countries. It's about representing the voices of over 3 billion people, a huge chunk of the world's population. This collective voice is becoming increasingly influential in shaping global policies. And India's been at the forefront of pushing for reforms in global institutions, making sure the concerns of the Global South are heard. This includes advocating for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, a move that would significantly alter the dynamics of international relations. This summit saw BRICS reaffirm its commitment to multilateralism and reforming institutions like the UN Security Council. The leaders emphasized the need for a more balanced and fair representation in these global bodies. And guess who's been advocating for these reforms for years? You guessed it, India. India's persistent efforts are finally gaining traction, and the world is starting to take notice. Plus, India's own initiatives like the India-Africa Forum got a shout-out at the summit. This forum has been instrumental in fostering closer ties between India and African nations, focusing on mutual growth and development. This shows that India's walking the talk, building partnerships with developing countries and emerging as a leader in the Global South. These partnerships are not just symbolic, they are backed by tangible projects and investments. This is huge for India's soft power, its influence on the world stage. Cultural diplomacy, through Bollywood and educational exchanges, is helping India build a positive image globally. It's not just about military might or economic clout, it's about being a voice for those who haven't always had one. India's humanitarian efforts and grassroots initiatives are making a real difference in people's lives. And in that arena, India's definitely scoring some major points. The country's proactive stance and consistent advocacy are paving the way for a more inclusive and equitable global order. Chapter 5. BRICS, the future of healthcare and tech? All right, let's wrap things up with something close to everyone's heart's health and technology. These two fields are rapidly evolving and becoming more intertwined than ever before. Now, you might not think of BRICS as a tech hub, but think again. The member countries are making significant strides in technology and healthcare, and their collaboration is setting the stage for groundbreaking advancements. This summit saw some major commitments to cooperation in digital public goods and healthcare, and India's right in the thick of it. The discussions were focused on leveraging technology to improve healthcare outcomes and making these advancements accessible to all. First up, the BRICS R&D Vaccine Center. This initiative aims to pool resources and expertise from all member countries to develop vaccines and combat future pandemics more effectively. This is a big deal, folks. The collaboration could lead to faster vaccine development and more efficient distribution, ensuring that no country is left behind in the fight against global health crises. We're talking about pooling resources and expertise to develop vaccines and fight future pandemics. This kind of international cooperation is crucial for tackling health challenges that know no borders. And with India's vaccine manufacturing prowess, they're going to play a key role in this initiative. India's experience and capacity in vaccine production make it an invaluable partner in this global effort. But it's not just about vaccines. The scope of cooperation extends to various aspects of healthcare technology. BRICS also endorsed cooperation in digital health, telemedicine, you name it. These technologies are revolutionizing the way healthcare is delivered, making it more efficient and accessible. And this is where India's booming IT sector comes in. The country's tech industry is well positioned to develop innovative solutions that can be scaled across the BRICS nations. Imagine Indian tech companies developing affordable, accessible healthcare solutions for the entire BRICS bloc and beyond. These solutions could address some of the most pressing healthcare challenges faced by developing nations. This is about using technology to bridge the healthcare gap, to make sure everyone, regardless of where they live, has access to quality healthcare. Telemedicine and digital health platforms can bring medical expertise to remote and underserved areas. And with its technological prowess and commitment to global health, India's poised to be a leader in this domain. The country's initiatives could serve as a model for other nations looking to integrate technology into their healthcare systems. So there you have it, 5 major wins for India at the BRICS Summit. These achievements highlight the country's growing influence and its potential to drive positive change on a global scale. From trade deals to currency initiatives, diplomatic dialogues to global leadership, India is making its mark on the world stage. The future looks promising as these collaborations continue to evolve and bear fruit. So clearly, India was the real benefiter of BRICS Summit this time. So there you have it, folks. The 2024 BRICS Summit, not as boring as it sounds, right? India came, they saw, and they conquered, diplomatically speaking, of course, from boosting trade to challenging the dollar's dominance, and even having a little chat with their frenemy China. India definitely played their cards right. Look, I'm not saying India's solved all the world's problems or anything, but they're definitely stepping up, making their voice heard, and showing the world what they are truly capable of. And in a world that often feels like it's going off the rails, that's something worth celebrating. So next time you hear someone say, BRICS, don't think bricks and mortar. Think India, think progress, think the future. Because when it comes to the BRICS game, India's playing for keeps. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more such content on our Value Investing channel. Happy investing!